Hello guys, and welcome to this VolksWizard video. Now today's a really big day. It's the first track day of the year. In fact, it's a track evening. I'm just on my way to Bedford Autodrome, somewhere I'm embarrassed to say I've never been before, even though I've read about it in EVO magazine for the past, I don't know, 2 decades nearly. So yeah, it's an EVO track evening, and I'm just in Project GTI, the Edition 30, which, following its visit to stealth racing, to have its JetX exhaust and air filter fitted, is producing around 304 horsepower. So not too bad at all, not far off the Club Sport S. I don't know if you can hear, but there's a droning noise in the background, and that's the Toyo R888R tyres, which are a bit tricky in the wet, but luckily the forecast for today is dry, even though it's gone quite dull now. Let's hope it holds out. So it's a 2-hour drive from here to Bedford. It's a Friday afternoon, so it could be quite busy, but it should be a relatively relaxed drive really, because I've allowed about an extra half an hour just in case, so it should be brilliant. When we get there, we'll have a look at the cars before we go on track, which I'm really looking forward to doing. Okay guys, welcome to Project GTI at Bedford Autodrome. So I made it through the rush hour traffic, just on a familiarisation lap now to get a feel for this place. I've never driven it before. It feels like a really fast place. We're doing 100 miles an hour without even really trying. This is on a warm-up lap. So yeah, it's quite an exciting place. And so far, at these quite fast speeds actually, Project GTI feels really good. It's amazing how when you get a car on track, it still feels quite soft. When on the road, it's quite firm. So I might be looking at some anti-roll bars, I think. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with the brakes anyway, because at Castle Combe they were spot on thanks to EBC. And now we're running pedal suspension, and it feels massively better than it did before. I think this is 100 mile an hour bit. We're doing 80, 90, 100. I've got an Elise in front of me and an RS4 Cabrio. A massive mix of cars here. I'm actually booked to drive an M4 later, which will be really interesting. Anyway, so enough chat. I've got to concentrate and try and learn this, but yeah, it's brilliant, and it's a really nice crowd of people here. Some great cars. Okay guys, just about to go out again in Project GTI at Bedford. I've let some air out the tyres because they've gone up from 2.6 bar to about 3 bar, which is a bit too high really. It was a bit of a handful, a bit like driving in the wet when they're that high. So it's I've dropped them back down to 2.6 and we'll see how we get on. Okay, I'll just talk you around a lap. I mean, I don't know my way around yet. It's such a big circuit, it's very easy to get lost. This is the corner they said do not go into the gravel trap on, and having a look at it, yeah, I can see why. It's pretty nasty. That's the only gravel trap. The rest of the circuit's really mainly grass, and in the dry like today, it's okay. It's just so big, it's really hard to get points of reference. And I don't even know, I think this is a southwest circuit because of noise restrictions, so even if you've watched the EVO videos, it's kind of hard to work out what's what. So just taking it nice and slow, looking out for the cone. It's got I think it's amber on the apex, yellow is your brakes. Keep an eye on your rear view mirror. So yellow brake, amber is apex. This is a bit of a chicane, so another apex here, and then run wide onto this curb, which looks pretty smooth, and then move over to the right. Now this has got a hairpin sign, so let's heed that. It's quite a long swinger, so very late apex though. Check my mirrors, nothing there. Amber cone, and then this is quite a fast bit. It's where I did 100 on the warm-up bit, so doing 80, 90, that's fourth. Nothing behind us, nothing in front of us, straight on, and that's 110. Bizarrely, better test the brakes, so brake early. The EBC brakes have been brilliant, but you just don't really want to find the limit. And I'm running with ESP on now, which isn't a particularly good idea, but I'm not really pushing the limit. So again, another chicane, it feels like. So apex left, apex right, and then I think we're going right again, so keep to the right. I'm in third gear, and there's the apex there. Look ahead, bit of a straight, and then onto the brakes, look at the arrow that says go left, and there's the apex right on the inside of the curve, so run a bit of curb, and we're going left again, so let's keep to the right, and onto the brakes. Where's the cone now? I can't see. Oh, it's quite a late one. I'm a bit too far over, but we'll go. And then nice wide exit, curb and a bit of concrete. No idea which way it goes. I presume it's going to be right, so I'll move over to the left to get the right line. Got a Lotus coming up behind us. It's very hard to see what's what here because it's just so many different layouts. So into fourth, I think I'll go into third again. We're going to go right, somewhere near the pits now. And then there's the apex cone, which somebody's hit, a nice wide exit. And we're going right again, so the pits are just here. And there's the braking mark, there's the apex. Run a bit of curb. Okay, well, it's just gone 10 past 8 now. I'm just leaving Bedford. What an amazing evening that was. If you're into cars, just come into a track day and watching is fun. That's what got me into driving them. But you know, when you come to an EVO track day, it's just such a mix of cars. Not many Golfs, to be honest, or hot hatches. Probably the nearest Volkswagen Group car was that RS3 that in Viper Green that EVO got on their press fleet. Lucky guys. But yeah, what an amazing evening. It's a really good circuit, brilliant for beginners. It's fast, but there's a hell of a lot of room if you have a moment, and in the right kind of car like a Golf, just put the window up, it's pretty safe. This is a really forgiving car. I mean, the tyres help because they're so grippy that you're not really likely to get into a spin because there's so much grip. It's got its limits, and it'll power understeer still, but it's just a front wheel drive car with 300 and something horsepower. It's got its limits for 2 tyres. But anyway, that was a brilliant evening, so I'd highly recommend these Evo track evenings. Just Google it, and they've got events all through the summer. I think they're one every month. The next one's Rockingham, then Bedford, then Rockingham, then Bedford. I've done the Rockingham one now, but this was actually better. I didn't think it would be because the circuit's so fast and not so technical, but it was great. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, that's really important, and I'll see you for the next one soon. Cheers.